required in spirituality is because the guide has to tell us it's very easy to do it, and this is the easiest way, and the guide has to correct us. If you are doing it the hard way, the guide has to tell us, okay, there is an easy way of doing it. That is essentially the role of the guide. That's why we call the spiritual teacher or the master as a guide rather than a teacher, because there is no teaching in spirituality, it's only guidance. And take the guidance and we have to implement it. That's the whole idea, right? If the guide can do it for us, then everyone would have attained the highest state in our life. So we do it. Guides us, gives the pointers wherever we are going wrong, and then we implement it. So let's read this. But one thing is to be clearly borne in mind. The mind should not in any way be taxed, and there should be no heaviness. Just what I'm saying right now. The spiritual way must be the easiest way. It should not put any pressure on the mind. It should not tax your mind. It should not cause any heaviness. Then we are on the right spiritual path. Or then we are doing the right way. Because this effect, keeping off the ideas and bringing the working of the mind to stand still, can be brought forth also by those who have mastered the baser sciences. Example, mesmerism, hypnotism, etc. Why is he referring to that is the working of the mind to stand still can be brought forth. So this mind can be stilled also by hypnotism. That doesn't mean we are in spirituality. But the difference between the two is that in the later case, heaviness, exhaustion, and dullness of the mind and physique will be felt. A lot of people ask this question whether I am sleeping or awake in meditation during my meditation. Awake in the sense awareness, fully aware. How do I know if I am sleeping or is it a deep meditation? This is the indication. If it is sleep, then when you get out of meditation, there is certain dullness and exhaustion of the mind you feel. If it is sleep. If it is meditation, when you come out of the meditation, the opposite. It's all lightness and mind gets rejuvenated. That is the difference between the sleep and meditation. Because it brings the consciousness into effect, and that state basically creates a, a, a sort of rejuvenation and heightened attention in the mind, and you feel very light because we meditated on that which has no heaviness. While in the former case, the person will feel lightness and at the same time calmness shall be prevailing all over. It is just possible that you may not be able to judge at the first glance, but constant company with a person will surely offer your clear hints, indications in this respect. So nowadays, researchers in the science are generally neglected. There are still many things to be known and solved, but you can pick up pearls only when you dive deep into the ocean. So this basically concludes the topic of the central region. Uh, and Babuji has put in, is probably, it's 1% of what he has actually seen as a central region. So if you want to experience these states, we must only get there through practice and guidance. But right application of the practice brings us there very much faster. Now the question is, what is the right application? Simple rule of thumb: if it is becoming too hard for you, you're doing it the wrong way. Correct your way. Find the right way. To find the right way, you ask questions, write letters to Daji, you discuss with your friends who have been practicing for a while, but somehow you find out what is the right way to hit. Once you hit the right way, the practice becomes very easy and smooth. You don't have to really boast about it at all. A lot of times when I talk to even senior people, in the sense who have been practicing for 30, 40 years, some small experience, they get too excited about it. Oh, today I felt Babaji in my meditation. They get too excited as if something great happened. All these excitements are very childish in my opinion. Okay, so we have to kind of go beyond and see what is the real thing versus all these projected experiences. Last week I was giving a session to Phoenix Center Abhyasis, and one individual said, my preceptor told me that I must become a witness. This whole witness is topic is, discussion is coming from the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptural studies. There's so much emphasis on witness. So I was telling him, what is witness anyway? What is the meaning of witnessing something? You see, people talk so much about, I must witness my meditation, I must do this, I must become a witness to my life. What is witness anyway? You see the simple way of looking at it. See, if I am looking in the room right now, what am I looking at? My computer, the furniture in the room, and we did a projector. I put a projector, and I'm seeing my screen on the projector. And when you are looking at the room, whatever is in the room, we are looking at. Do I have a choice to look at something else which is not there in the room? Can I make that choice? If I'm looking at a chair, can I see that chair as a sofa or a bed? If I'm seeing the chair, I'm seeing the chair. So seeing what is there is nothing but witnessing. If I am meditating, I am getting thoughts. Okay. Oh, no, I should not be having thoughts. I should see the God. I should witness the godly presence in my meditation. Can I do that? Then, if I say I should be seeing the godly presence, then I am not in witness. Witness means you see whatever comes to your mind during meditation. That means I am not interfering with what is coming in. That is what witness means. Oh, I must witness the Lord during my meditation, the godly presence. Everything else is an illusion. If I put such conditions around my meditation, I can never complete my meditation successfully. So you see how much the spirituality is simplified. Spirituality is the most simplest thing, easiest thing one must do or one can do. And we make it hard on ourselves. We make it very hard on ourselves. So, meditation, any spiritual practice must be done at ease. It will be only done at ease if you remove all the unnecessary concepts and conditions around it. What should I experience in my meditation? Whatever happens during that meditation. I'm having thoughts, let there be thoughts. There is a lot of inner noise, let there be the inner noise be there. What can you do? That is what you are witnessing at that moment. So being in the moment is all about spirituality. I can only achieve that salvation if I can be in that moment. If my past is projected to the present, or my present is projected into the future or past, I cannot be in a state of witness. I can be only in a state of witness if I am in the present. So how to be in the present? Very simple. Remove all conditions around your meditation. Whatever happens, once you close your eyes, whatever happens, let it happen. Just allow it. As if you are the third person there. It's as if it's not the you who is meditating. Someone else is meditating and you are watching. Then your meditation is easy and more effective. Okay. So let's read through this conclusion. I have discussed sufficiently as far as my anubhava, means experience, or reading of nature allowed me. I may now add a few lines for the seekers to reveal to them the secret of success. Meditation is the foundation of spirituality. If you meditate having your real goal before you, you are sure to arrive at the destination. There are ways and ways converging towards the real goal, and they are discussed in various scriptures sufficiently. There are external forces too, helping us to the destination if properly guided. What is this external force? Is the spiritual guide itself. The Eastern thinkers have taken special regard of the question of food. It should be cooked neatly and cleanly in a proper manner. This is the hygienic point. But if it is sattvic in the sense easily what you call absorbed, or should I say congenial to your body. That is what the sattvic food is defined as, or more palatable to your system, easily absorbed into your system, and is cooked in constant remembrance of God. Its effect will be surprising. And if it is taken meditating all the while on the God, it will cure all kinds of spiritual diseases and remove things which hinder our progress. I have not to say much about it. So this is all comes in the idea of attitude of taking the food, cooking the food, doing anything. If it is done in constant remembrance, the effect is very different. I have not to say much about it as it has already been dealt with sufficiently in our books, but neglecting altogether the really essential hygienic and spiritual basis of food. We must not be whimsical, thinking that it is defined if merely touched by one other than of particular pious and spiritually elevated. Basically, this whole idea, this is coming from more from an Indian thinking point of view. If there is a spiritual person touches the food, it becomes divine. Nothing of that sort. That's what Babaji is hinting. The food becomes divine if my attitude towards that food is right. If I cook and eat in remembrance, it becomes divine. Hindus have experienced sufficiently and ought now to realize that the present day policy of food is neither social nor spiritual. So, in support of my views, I quote below the words of Swami Vivekananda ji, who is an authority on spiritual subjects. The extravagant, meaningless fantasism which has driven religion entirely to kitchens, as may be noticed in many of our sects, without any hope of noble truth of that religion ever coming out to the sunlight of spirituality, is a peculiar sort of pure and simple materialism. It is neither jnana, means knowledge of the divine, knowledge of the soul, what jnana is refined as. Karma means the action, and bhakti means devotion. It is a special kind of lunacy, and those who pin their souls to it are more likely to go to the lunatic asylum than to the Brahmaloka, means divine abode. So, what Babaji indicating here is, we are so much caught up on the things which are not required for spirituality. Like I mentioned in the beginning, too much idealization will not lead you to spirituality. Oh, you must eat only this food, you must eat only like this. And we idealize everything. And finally, I mean, if you have observed, those who have been into the Indian script, religious, ritualistic practices, it's all about food and food and food. So the religion has become gone into the kitchens. That's how what Babaji is indicating here. So the real thing is to understand what is this real knowledge means, understand what is the attitude to attain this knowledge, also understand what sort of devotion is required to attain this knowledge. So I'll skip through this. Then, going back to this topic, the difficult methods so far applied for attaining this simple thing have really made it complicated and intricate. So, this is the theme we started on today. We unnecessarily complicated this whole spiritual idea and practice. So, we don't pick up a needle with a crane. So, whatever is the required force, and the required force, if it is applied correctly, the results are effective. So the process we start with and which we lay stress upon is meditation upon the heart under the guidance of force of one's master who has attained perfection and has within him the capacity of the transmission, which is the most important thing. Such a master keeps away things barring our spiritual growth. Spiritual waves from the master continue to flow into our heart, making us calmer and calmer day by day. We dealt with this topic in detail, how a subtle body of the master works with us the real master is that subtle body of the master which is working with us. And I've gone in detail on the topic of how the each subtle body of the master work with us, and I also explained how a spiritually elevated person's subtle bodies can distribute. I'll deal with it again, if the opportunity arises again. But I think hopefully all of you have understood that concept. If you are deep rooted in meditation, we connect our link with the innermost thing desired. Devotion, of course, increases the capacity and smoothens the way. If we make our heart the target of masterly force, we begin to expand inside, with the result that the long run we find ourselves stretching throughout the godly empire. So as we practice, over the long run, over the period of time, we understand how much we can expand. I mean, all these sentences are very loaded. There is so much explanation is required to understand what Babaji is saying. These are not mere statements. There is a lot of thinking and experience behind those statements. So I'll stop here. We'll continue. Probably we'll go into the commentary of 10 maxims starting next week. This is another topic we need to dealt with. 10 maxims, if you understand it right, they're the most useful tools for our journey in spirituality. So I'll stop here and let's get into meditation. And I would request Jagan, if you can conduct the satsang for us. Jagan, are you still there? Yeah. If you can do the
Sure.
satsang for us, it would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.